And we're live. I have to talk kind of like in a weird, quiet voice today because we have company over and I don't need people hearing me yell at a wolf game. But the good news is I have a good hour and a half to stream. Feeling fun, feeling fruity. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, let it all render, let Twitch catch up with me, catch up with my emails. Just gonna let it vibe. I know this, I keep doing like streams at odd hours, but this is when I'm free most, honestly. When a lot of my meetings are like on specific days and they tend to be in the morning. So, uh, this is a much better time for me. Oh God, I have so many missed texts. Not for work, thankfully, but I do need to text my beloved friends. I'm just letting it chill. Okay, I can delete these. Ooh, my gym sent me an email. Ooh, they're getting new equipment. Nice. This stuff looks hardcore. Okay. Jeez. I'm not there yet. I promise I'll actually play in a minute. I'm realizing like maybe I shouldn't start the recording for the VODs until I actually start playing, but like I don't know. I feel like if you know me and you know my style, you have to skip the first 2 minutes. That's the rule. You know, it's my internet hobby and I can do what I want. All right, it is time to jump in. It's actually time to get comfortable before I jump in. I think I'm getting to a point where I can do an art stream soon, which is very exciting. That would make me super happy. Oh, y'all are loud. Hang on. I turned up my volume a little bit, and I'm definitely hearing it. I'm eating this. Nobody's stopping me from eating this right now. Okay, let's reorient real quick. So, okay, everybody, chickadee needs some food, but you know, who doesn't? Kids are all fine. Cedar and mahogany are both good. Let's hop to the map. I don't know if y'all can see my mouse. Sometimes I use my mouse to select stuff, just makes life a little easier. Okay, I have some hexes that I need to strengthen. So I think I can go kind of southwest, go from there. This might be kind of a short stream today because I might pull myself into some creative stuff, and I have not set up my iPad to do art stream yet. I basically have to flip my current setup where right now my iPad has my stream manager open for Twitch just to like take the load off of my computer, but I would have to switch that to my laptop and then draw on my iPad, which isn't a big lift. Like I have everything on my, oh shoot, no, I need to figure out how to capture the screen though. That would be the minor challenge. I again minor, I think it'd probably take me 5 minutes to figure out. This is pretty. I haven't been here in a long time. This is where I used to do my little den was up here. Sweet memories. It does make me sad that this is Goose's last year. He's been a good boy. I also keep getting like off-stream followers, which is kind of exciting. I think that means people are watching my VODs and enjoying them. So, or they're finding me through shorts or Instagram, YouTube, all the things. And that's exciting for me. When I started streaming like almost a year ago at this point, you know, I've obviously been very infrequent, and that's why I don't have a gigantic amount to show for it. But I was just like, you know what? I'm doing this for me. This is my enjoyment. I just want to be able to like yap and play my games. And if something comes of it, something comes of it. I have no delusions of grandeur about how entertaining I am or how much people want to listen to me or watch me play games. It's just it's a fun thing for me and it forces me to take time for myself like this. And it's really nice still when people are like, "Yes, I will follow you for this." That is it's a good feeling because I don't rely on that reassurance by any means, but it is like, "Oh, cool. Other people enjoy me playing video games, and I enjoy me playing video games." I think I'm getting kind of close to affiliate. I just need to get more viewers per stream, which I realize I'm not doing very well of. Like, I don't promote when I start my streams very well. And I don't have a great diversity of games that I play, and I play games that are kind of niche and esoteric, and so I need to like lean more into the games that, well, I'm playing what I like. I'm not going to change my gaming behavior to get viewers, but I do want to get back like into the Pale Beyond, into Hades 2, games that have like more of a plot to them. I just have had like I've been really burned out lately. I know I keep talking about this on stream, but I have like a big work deadline coming up. Actually, it's still a countdown on my whiteboard, and it is satisfying every day to, what? No, I think it's up here. I think I'm stupid. It is like satisfying to wipe off a number every day and keep that counter alive, but it's definitely burning me out. And I think after this project is over mid-March, I am going to have a lot more clarity and also a lot more enthusiasm about streaming again. I mean, not that I'm not enthusiastic, but I think I'm going to be able to do it more often. And it's just, I have like so many plates spinning right now because I'm trying to buy a place, which takes up a considerable amount of my emotional energy. Hey, where do I want to live for the next 5 to 10 years at least? Because that really is how long you have to live in a place that you've purchased in order to like reap the benefits of not having to pay rent and not having rent increases. Um, so there's that. So I've just been having to deal with like a bunch of financial anxiety and, unfortunately, I don't make money on Twitch at present. So I have to lean more into my job and my side gigs, and those are going really well. I'm making more money than I ever have through those routes, but I would love to like put more energy into this because this is something I have genuine passion for, is not just like gaming on Twitch, but like the furry community as a whole. So I am going to Fur Squared on Saturday. That's exciting. I'm very, very happy that I get to take the day. Do I have the money to go to Fur Squared? Not particularly, but it's in the budget. It's in the budget. I say that, but it is in the budget. It's going to be fine as long as I don't buy dumb shit for the rest of the month. And I'm going for one day and I am very excited. And then I am going to, there's like a furry rave in Chicago in March that I'm going to. It's like a couple weeks before my work deadline, so that's going to be funny. Um, I probably can't stay like for the whole thing. Like, I think it goes to like 3 a.m. I am not staying until 3 in the morning. I will be probably leaving. I think it starts at like 8 p.m. Like it actually starts at a pretty reasonable hour. I hate when shows don't start until like 9 and it's or 10 and it's like, come on. Like I'd love to enjoy this if the doors opened at 7 or 8, but now it's just getting to a point where it's like I'm tired. I take my sleep med at around like 8 to 10 p.m. every night, and if I push it really past that window, it makes me really drowsy the next day and it really like screws up my whole next couple days. And I'm not asking for concerts to do things for my sake. I understand for the grand majority of people, they'd rather it be later in the night. It's just like, I'm really glad that this event starts at an hour that is tangible to me because I can go at 8 p.m. I can leave, I'll still be late on my meds, but I can leave at like 11 and be home by midnight. And that won't mess my day up as badly as getting home at 3 in the morning. Um, So I am very excited. I have friends coming with me. I have friends who are like not part of the fandom who want to come with me, which is really exciting. And, because they're like, hell yeah, furry rave. So, but yeah, I really want to like immerse myself more in the community. I think I've done an okay job, like putting myself out there, making friends, making connections, like with people who um, have similar backgrounds or live geographically close to me, which is really nice. And I've never really been in a subculture before. I, like I was an emo kid for sure, but I didn't really go to shows that often. I didn't participate in any groups or clubs or anything like related to it. So this is the first thing that I've really felt passionate about participating in. Who knew? It just took a bunch of rainbow animals. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I titled the stream today Back Pain and DBT because my back hurts and I finally got my DBT workbook in the mail. So that's the vibe today is I don't even know what I did to my back. I think I was sitting really badly the last few days, like at my desk and just doing things and um my my back and my body did not enjoy any of that. I have not been to the gym in like almost a week, but I am going today with my gym group. So I will be righting that wrong very shortly. I just need to I need to do the thing because I always forget, and I forget this because I was much more disabled before I had surgery for my endometriosis. I still, even though it's been like 4 years since I had that surgery, I forget that when you aren't a critically sick person with an inflammatory disease that is highly severe, working out makes you feel better. Most of the time, it actually makes you feel good. Because before I would work out and I would be put into crippling agony for hours. It wasn't fun. I couldn't get in shape because my hormones were all unbalanced. But now that I can go and like actually put on muscle and actually lift and, go on the Stairmaster. I do the Stairmaster every time I go. I could never have imagined that 5 years ago. Going up a single flight of stairs would put me in agony. So I like forget that. So whenever I start to feel physically bad, I just like do what I used to do, where I crunch down into my bed or my chair and I don't move for days, hoping that it gets better. But that's no longer the vibe. I now feel worse if I don't move. And it's hard to square that with the majority of my life having that not be the case. So, yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. I like going to the gym. I'm excited to go to the gym in a couple hours. That'll be my kind of cutoff to end the stream and touch some grass. Yeah, I got my DBT workbook. I'm just podcasting because I don't have anybody chatting. So y'all get a podcast episode this time. Somehow I yap more when there's nobody in chat. Like it's bizarre, but I got the DBT workbook. So it's called, this is a type of therapy. Let me use my psychology degree real quick. This is a type of therapy called dialectical behavior therapy. And what that means is it kind of helps you to work on your distress tolerance, your rejection sensitivity, regulating your emotions, dealing with big emotions, dealing with unpredictable challenges, things that you would consider to be basic human skills, and they are, but we don't formally teach them very well to each other, like in a educational setting or a parenting setting. There's no like inherent guide to these things unless you seek out this form of therapy. And so, all right, that's the one seater. Did you get kicked, buddy? Um, there's no like formal training really that you receive. And so when I kind of brought it up to my therapist, like, hey, do you think this would be a good idea for me, even though I am not diagnosed with a personality disorder? She was like, I think everybody should do DBT. I think every person on earth can benefit from it. I think we should teach it in schools. I think we should have little kids do the workbook in elementary school because it will make them better at life. It'll help them to navigate their lives. And I thought that was a really wonderful thought, and so we're working on it now. And when I tell y'all, she was like, "Don't start it without me, but feel free to skim," right? I went in, I skimmed, and the first chapter just bodied me immediately because it was like, oh, distress tolerance is this and this, and like here's examples of it. Here is a list of bad coping mechanisms that people with low distress tolerance use. And when I tell y'all that was a list of my coping mechanisms at present, I think I just floated for a second. That was a funny glitch. Oh, hey, hybrid, welcome. But yeah, I read it, like I just read this list, and I mean I did like 8 out of the 10 things on this list, or I've and the other two I've done in the past and I've stopped doing now because I knew that they were bad copes. But I was just sitting there like, you have got to be kidding me. you know? So I'm excited. I'm very excited to start DBT. It seems like it'll be really helpful because it has, at least this workbook that my therapist recommended has like, it has lists, and I love making lists and I love having lists because I really struggle with like recall. And I don't know if that's ADHD or just like how my brain is. But if you ask me like, oh, list your bad coping mechanisms, I'd be like, I don't know. Okay, list some alternatives that are good coping mechanisms. Like my brain's going to be empty. Like if you try to ask me to list something like in a controlled environment, it's not happening. And it's nice to like have lists of things where it's like, here's a list of different positive coping mechanisms you can use. Check the boxes next to the ones that you actually foresee yourself using. Um, here's a list of activities that you can do to distract yourself from a bad time. Like, and it's just it's super nice to have it to like have that foundation. And then later in the book it has you like write out the ones that you like the most and have your own lists of things. So, and like I understand why my therapist thinks that everybody should do DBT at some point in their life. It very much is like it feels like baby stuff. Like if, as you're reading like I don't even like how like what do I crack into here? Like, oh, sometimes you have to sit with your discomfort. Practice not getting angry when you're stuck in traffic. And it's like, yeah, no shit. But what do I do constantly? I get angry when I'm stuck in traffic. Like constantly. I have such bad, I don't want to call it road rage because it never affects how I drive. I have like inside my car rage. Like I'm yelling and screaming and inside my car. But I don't like I'm not an erratic driver. I'm driving like grandma while I'm yelling, And it's nice to like have it kind of written out like that. Like, hey, do you do this? That's low distress tolerance, buddy. Here's other examples of situations that are very realistic and based on real situations that you've probably also experienced if you have no distress tolerance. And it's nice. Like therapy sometimes is hard for me because there's very little structure. You have to kind of make the structure yourself. And I've noticed that I do the best in my therapy when there is a structure. Like, let's focus on this event. Let's focus on this specific occurrence or feeling, whatever. When I did EMDR, which is a form of trauma therapy that involves like a hypnosis element almost, um, I did a lot better. Like I feel like it was a lot more efficient and I was a lot more engaged with it because I knew what each week was going to be like. I knew what each session was going to kind of entail and like what we were working through, like the feelings and the thoughts and the memories that we were fixating on. And I don't know, I'm very excited to have this little workbook that like kind of walks me through. I think it's supposed to be done over the course of like 3 to 6 months, depending on how often you have therapy. And it'll be kind of like homework. Like I check in with my therapist every 2 weeks and we talk about what I've been doing and how I've been feeling about it and just kind of go from there. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have a little bit of direction in that way. Because sometimes, like, you go to therapy and you've had a weird month or a weird week, and then it's like, well, let me just like exposit all this to my therapist. Then you're halfway through the time, and it's like, okay, well, now I've ranted to my therapist about the shitty week that I had. I guess I should be asking about management strategies, but then you get on another tangent because it's your therapist. Yeah, and it's like, like I love yapping. So Um, then it just kind of like full circles, and then therapy ends, and I'm like, okay, well now I just ranted about the same 10 things I have been ranting about to everybody else in my life for the last 2 weeks. Um, and I guess I feel better because my therapist provided some insight and some reassurance and guidance or what have you. But it's like, all right, have I developed skills from this? Not that I think you need to develop skills from therapy. Like having a therapist to rant to is valid. I know many people who have that experience. And yeah, so I'm excited to have a little structure, a little worksheet for me to do. But it was just funny to literally flip open to the first lesson, I guess the first chapter, and just have it be like, hey, do you want to get bodied today? Do you want to be read to filth? Here's a list of all your coping mechanisms. Did you know that these are bad? And I was like, man, like I did know, but I didn't want you to tell me that right out the gate. Ugh, the joys of being a person with chronic mental health issues. All right, let's see how everybody's doing. I slept. Everybody's good. Chickadee needs to eat at some point, but I think she'll be fine for a little bit. I like don't really need to do that much right now, honestly. Like I guess I could go to the east and reinforce a couple squares. I don't know what's going on with Oxbow. It looks like they are getting absolutely choked out down there by Cutoff and Rick's Ridge. Yeah, looks like they're having a little dispute. All right, team. I guess we could go hunt too if there's a herd around. Why not? Yeah, that's it. That's the back pain and DBT rant. Very short, very to the point. I don't even want to call it a rant. It's just like I'm doing the thing. It's happening. I'm healing. This is the worst part about having like a chronic mental health issue, like one that is known to never be curable, is, it's like I can make it better, but it is like a constant effort. And it's been a constant effort for me for about 7 years with my current therapist, and I have made so much progress. Don't get me wrong. I am so better of a person than I was 7 years ago, but I'm still worse than most. You know what I mean? Like I'm still doing a little bad. Um, but I am genuinely excited to try something new because, I love new things. I love shiny new things for me to think about and experience. I also think like as I've been going through this like whole situation of like, okay, what's still a problem, what isn't? How do I need to adjust my therapy and my whole journey to fix this? Like, I realized that I don't have anxiety anymore. Like, I get anxious in certain types of situations that trigger me naturally. But I'm diagnosed with generalized anxiety. I'm not anxious most days unless like something happens that again like triggers me or makes me feel insecure or worried, like which is normal, like normal in air quotes. I have PTSD, like it's not normal. But when I experience something that like triggers me, I get anxious. But when I'm not experiencing that, I'm not. I don't have anxiety about random things anymore. So I think I might talk to my therapist about getting that removed off my chart because it's one of those things that like doctors will treat you a little different for having anxiety. I've noticed they're always like, don't Google things, don't do this. Oh, like, or like they'll try to keep stuff from you to make you not anxious. And that's not where I'm at anymore. Like, I'm not too worried about it, And like I'm not spending every day. I haven't had a panic attack in a while. I mean, I had one when I ran into my really abusive ex at MFF, but like again, that's a acceptable situation to feel anxiety in. That's an acceptable situation to have a panic attack in, is here is this person who treated you poorly. coming up to you and trying to, you know, talk to you, like, yeah, of course that made me anxious. And so, chickadee, be careful, chickadee, be careful, please be careful, chickadee. Oh, hi everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think, you, no, not you, you. So I might talk to her about like whether that is still applicable to me if she thinks so, because she does have a doctorate. She can diagnose and she can taketh away. And like I think I still have depression. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be, which is fair. My depression has like a remission note on it, meaning like or a partial remission note, meaning that I don't fit all the criteria anymore. But I still get depressed sometimes in a way that could be considered clinical in nature. But it's like the symptoms have subsided an amount and they've lessened in severity over time. But I think I could probably get that tacked on to my generalized anxiety because I just don't have that anymore. I don't really worry about everything all the time. I worry about things that I think are worth worrying about. So, thank you, hybrid. I am also glad it's not bothering me as much because I used to literally wake up every day and shake in bed for like 15 minutes. I would just wake up like shaking. And looking back, it's like I think a lot of my anxiety was egged on by my chronic health issues, by my unresolved trauma, by my just like I was really spreading myself thin back then. And now that I'm like not in a situation that causes me anxiety, like now that I'm not in a bad relationship, now that I am not in an abusive household, a lot of those factors, now that they're resolved, I don't feel that anxiety anymore. And I look back and I think, okay, maybe and again, maybe this is a cope, maybe this is me just coping, and I do totally have it, but I look back and I'm like, was it generalized anxiety disorder? Like, was my anxiety out of place, or was I just in really, really shitty situations that absolutely should have been making me anxious? And I'll never have the answer to that. I don't know what the right way is to respond to a traumatic event, and I don't think anybody does. But I think now, like, I've moved past that, and a lot of my anxiety symptoms or my anxious-like symptoms come from my OCD spiraling out or my PTSD spiraling out. But I don't just have anxiety for the sake of anxiety. So, again, I need to talk to my therapist about this, which can't save me from a diagnosis. But I have had diagnoses revoked. I had social anxiety disorder taken off for that reason. I fit none of the criteria anymore. I love to yap and I love to yap to strangers. And I am fine making phone calls. That was actually something that my job really fixed up for me. I used to do like some almost like call center type work for my job before I spec'd into my current like data analytics and database management stuff. But back when I did that, like I had to make sometimes upwards of like 100 phone calls an hour. They wouldn't all connect, obviously, but I'd sit there and I'd have to like go through the process of dialing the number and calling it over and over and over again. And sometimes people would just pick up and I couldn't predict when that would happen. And that gets you over your phone anxiety real quick. And, getting bonuses because you're doing it well, that gets you over your phone anxiety real quick. And now, when I need to make a phone call to make an appointment or return a product or call customer service or refill a prescription, it's like, all right, got to make the phone call. So be it. Which, if you told me from 10 years ago that I would have that attitude about making phone calls, I would not believe you. So, even though my progress isn't always super visible to me, like there's stuff like that that I really notice where, again, I used to sit and doom and freak out for 5 to 10 minutes every time I had to make a phone call. And now it's like, whatever, man. My frontal lobe finished, and it was like, well, I'm sure the other person on the other side of the line doesn't really want to talk either, so we can just get this over with and have it be done as soon as possible. If I get a competitor raid right now, I'm gonna be so mad. I'll deal with it. I will deal. I do not want to. But yeah, unfortunately, I forgot to say this at the onset, but I do have to take like a few days break from streaming at some point. Probably like Wednesday through Saturday, there will be nothing because I need to keep details low just for everybody's privacy, but very, very close. Friend of mine actually lost a couple family members in the last couple weeks, and so I will be house sitting um, for them because they have pets. So I will be online, but I won't really be able to stream because I don't really have a I don't want to bring my second monitor to their home. If I can figure out how to rig it, but also like the dog barks and it's like I just don't and like I don't want to it's like it's hard for me in an unfamiliar place to be comfortable like streaming. I don't know why that makes it so uncomfortable for me, but it's just like I'm in somebody else's house, like I'll get stuff done for my day job and hang out with friends like yeah, over the phone, but I don't really want to like stream while I'm there. I also don't know how good their internet is. So that's a factor. Like I've house sat for this person before when they went out of town for a much happier occasion. Um but I also just want to make sure that I'm focusing like on their home and on their pets because I mean they're leaving for a few days and I don't want them to come back to a mess or anxious animals that haven't been cared for to the best of my ability. And I would never. Oh, thank you, hybrid. Admittedly, like one of the people that they lost, I did know not very well. Um, but I feel very bad for my friend. I also see that you redeemed the tarot reading. I will do that in just a minute. You have to forgive me because my tarot readings are just okay. I am learning. I am learning. That's why it's a I forget what these are called. Like it's not bits, it's the other thing. It says somebody redeemed. I think that's you. Let me see. Let me open. Yes, that's you. Well, you're getting a tarot reading now, so get ready. You're getting the one card. Unless you want me to return it to you. But if you want, because I just bought a deck, so it's time. But if you do want it, you will have to ask a question for it to answer. So, and it can be like a yes or no question. It can be a just like it's like a simple question like how's my day going to go? How will I get promoted at work? Stuff like that. So I'll give you a minute to cook up a question. It can also just be like, what's my day going to be like? That's a typical like one card situation. Now, do I believe in tarot? I don't know. I don't know. I've every time I get a reading done, except the last time, I draw the tower. If it's like a three-card reading, tower's there somewhere. The tower is there. Um, which is always scary. Like one time I got it in the future, and then a couple years later I got it in the past, and I was like, no, come on now. And it was like the tower, the future tower, like it led up to some bad things. And then when I got it for the past, it was like right after all the bad things had happened. And I said, you're kidding me. You are kidding me. But yeah, think of your tarot question, and I will give you my very remedial reading. I have to open an app to like look over the meaning of the card. That's the level of remedial we're at, which is why, like I said, it's like a free situation. I would never charge people money for my bad tarot readings. Are you kidding me? All right. So Hybrid's question, was the ominous phantom push and bit bucket not wanting to work today worth worrying about, or can I just forget about it and it will not happen again? All right, let me pull my cards out. Get out here. Get out of there. Whoop. Okay, let me not drop any. All right. I forget it. Okay, no, everybody's good. I'm gonna shuffle. Someday I'll have a little camera on stream if I get like really into this, but for now, for now, no camera. No camera for my bad shuffling. Okay. All right, I'm pulling one. It's sticking out a little bit, so I think people say that's the deck telling you it wants you to look at that one. Ooh, you got a fun one. You got a major arcana. So, okay. We put these back in their cute little deck box. All right. So you got the Emperor upright. So you actually got a major arcana. Very cool. Very exciting for you. I believe I know what the Emperor means, but I'm still going to pull up my little app that explains it. Okay. Tell me my cards. Okay. So the Emperor is the fourth card in the deck, or it's numbered four. So the Emperor stands for authority, structure, control, and fatherhood. And the affirmation attached to the Emperor is I protect my boundaries and I let go of what is not mine to control. Let's see. So the Emperor symbolizes rules and systems, structure, knowledge, um, guiding with a firm hand. All right. So this card, so I know you kind of asked a yes or no question. The answer on this card's actually a maybe card. But based on what I understand of this card, based on what I understand of the affirmations and the themes associated with it, I think if you look at the situation and you don't see yourself having done anything wrong in it with this technical error that happened, um, I think you have to accept that it was just not in your control and you can forget about it. And it probably won't happen again if it was just an off day for it. Um, But if you do look into it and you realize that that you missed a step or something, I think it's worth like looking back and seeing if there is anything you could have done differently. But it is possible that the situation was just out of your control and, it is what it is. So the Emperor is actually coming to you with saying, hey, you need to reevaluate your personal responsibility in this situation. Um, but it's saying it may or may not be your personal responsibility. See, look, I even did the cool non-answer that tarot people give you when you pull a tarot card, but I actually think that this one is applicable. Um, but yeah, it's exciting. Cool. That was fun. I'm glad that that works on stream. I'm glad that my little reward works. But yeah, I frequently pull the tower for myself, and the tower is about like here, I'll pull it up on here because I can try to explain it, but it freaks me out so bad. So the tower is the 16th card, and it is indicative of like destruction and renewal and um, complete overhauls, basically. Um, there's like an element almost of ego death involved in the tower, disaster, freaking out. Oh my gosh, hey Atlas, welcome. I'm having a tarot rant. I promise I'm not super wild about tarot, but I uh I do love it. I love it just a little bit. It's like a fun little hobby, like astrology. Do I do I believe in astrology? No. Do I have an emotional attachment to being a Gemini? Little bit, little bit. No, exactly, Atlas. It's free therapy for when I don't have money to pay my real therapist. Um, but yeah, hybrid, go for it. Tell me about the horrors today. I love hearing about your job horrors, truly. I'm so sorry. My Midwest accent really, really came in there. Horrors. Horrors. I always struggle to like pronounce certain letters. It's very Chicago of me to miss letters. And sometimes I say words and realize it sounds like I am saying completely different words because we don't say a lot of R's and we don't say a lot of T's. We skip over those. Why can't I hear my game? Hang on. Hello? Sometimes my AirPods just say goodbye. My AirPods are still working, right? Am I nuts? Oh no, I did not click out of my game. Uh, I'm gonna guess I am still audible unless y'all feel otherwise. If anybody is in chat, can you just let me know if you can hear me? Because my meld is acting weird and I suddenly can't hear anything. You know, actually, this is going to be a moment where I click out of wolfquest on my screen, which might make it go dark. Yeah, I'm connected. Okay. Oh, I totally have audio. I actually totally have audio. The game was just quiet for once. Where am I going? I don't want to go that way. This game always has so many sounds. There we go. There's the sound. I had my mic go out during stream once, like 6 months ago, and I have never recovered from that horror. Horror. I need to stop saying words that I can't say right. Hello? Those are bears. I'm not dealing with that today. Oh, are they eating my food? Can y'all, can y'all not? It's okay. I kind of just wanted to strengthen the hex anyways. I peer around. Okay. What else do I need to do? This is a shockingly low conflict Wolf Quest gameplay loop that I'm in. I'm really waiting for the other shoe to drop. I guess I'll go down this way. Oh no. I haven't had the exact like avalanche of build failed emails, but I have had an avalanche of like upload failed, upload failed, upload failed. And it's like I forgot to map one column. I didn't map one column. It drives me nuts. But I'm glad that it worked. I'm glad that you pulled it together. It sounds like the tech just said no that day. And you know, what are any of us supposed to do when that happens? Me personally, I love when my computer breaks because it means that I get a really free excuse to not deal with people for a couple hours. At some point, like my home internet just stopped supporting video calls. Like streaming, it does fine. It's just video calls that it completely eats itself over. And I like hate being on camera for work. I don't like people seeing my face while I'm talking. Unless it's in person, it's just strange to me. Um, you know, because during video calls I tend to like work on other things concurrently or um kind of click around a little bit and I don't always look super engaged. And it's so nice now to be like, sorry everybody, my internet's unstable. I have to be off camera. That's interesting, hybrid. Maybe it was just having a bad day, you know. Maybe something overheated somewhere and it just didn't want to do the thing. That is funny that you're weighing whether it's like a mass hallucination with other people though. I can definitely relate to having that kind of day at work. Where it's like, did that actually like there's so many texts in my work group chat of like, did that person just say that? Did that just happen? Did this event just go this way? Did like what's going on? What are we doing here? Um yeah, it's just it gets straight. There is a den right here. Hello? It's saying there is a den right here. I wonder if it's up along this rock, maybe? Does this pull me further from it? Yeah, whatever. I'll go den hunting. Why not? Could be fun. This could be it, but it is not. I wish that like the scent tags for dens were a little bit more useful. It's kind of a cute little spot though. I love these little like scenic overlooks they add. It adds a little fun to the whole game. Okay, getting down here. Where is this den? This is gonna drive me nuts. I like haven't had to look for dens for so long because I have the good memory trait. I don't even know what they look like anymore. There's like a fallen tree that can be a den. Oh yeah, I'm losing the scent. Whatever. Whatever. Oh, thank you, hybrid. I try to be a professional in all aspects. And it is fun. Like I think it is kind of a form, like again, as much as I don't really believe in a lot of that stuff, like I think it can be a way for people to, like a lot of psychic stuff, air quotes, psychic stuff, or astrology or tarot, like whatever it is that you prefer, like I think a lot of it is people just needing a sense of reassurance and to kind of hear what they've already been thinking. And if that can provide you a sense of assurance that you are just not quite able to put together yourself yet, I think that's fine. I think that's a pretty harmless way. Like obviously anything can spill over into obsession or psychosis even or over reliance. Like in my mind, stuff like this is a coping mechanism for a lot of people who um just kind they subscribe to it. And if you believe in it, you believe in it, right? I think it's wonderful to have a belief system that serves you. I'm just hoping that for the people who believe in it fully, that it serves them, and that it's not adding additional anxiety or angst into their life. I hope that it's just a way like, and it's fun. The cards have like a yes or no element to them. So you can ask it, where should I go for dinner? This place or this place? And it's almost like flipping a coin, but it feels a little bit more structured. So, and who knows, maybe it is real. Maybe they're the ones who are right about the spiritual order of the universe and tarot is super real and it's giving real answers to questions. But I'm not going to pretend like I know the answer to that one whatsoever. No, exactly, hybrid. It's very much like it takes some of the uncertainty out of making a decision, or I don't like these visual glitches that are happening. It's a bit ugly. I think it takes a lot of that uncertainty out, and it just lets people make decisions and guide their own life easier. And it's like your life, your choice. If you want to guide your life based on what the cards tell you, I'm not going to be like, wow, that's so stupid and such a worse way of living than how I live. Because how do I live? I make decisions based on like vibes. I make decisions based on just my personal opinions. And if your personal opinion is that the cards are right, I don't think that's less valuable than my opinion. It's just different. It's a different sort of way of looking at things. I just hope that people who really subscribe to it don't feel like they have a loss of control of their own life. I hope that they don't feel like they have to trust in these structures, or that if this structure for them says something that scares them, that they're not like, oh my God, it's totally going to happen now. Because I think manifestation is very real, not in the cosmic sense, but I think if like in your mind you're like, I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired. You're gonna start trying less hard at work. You're gonna start being more anxious at work and not doing as good of a job. And then you get fired because you're doing worse at your job. And it's like, okay, chicken and egg. Like, did you get fired because you were always destined to get fired? Or did you get fired because you assumed that it was happening and started acting like it was going to happen, so there was no point in trying to fix it? Um, that's like the one thing I worry about with people and tarot and just like that general spirituality and like predetermined aspects of belief systems is I do worry that people are going to feel like they have no control. And I know that that's a very trapping feeling as someone who has been in, again, like in an abusive household or in a very controlling relationship. Like, I don't like feeling like I don't have control over my own fate. Um, so that has never been an appealing aspect to me. Like, oh, just trust the cards, just trust God, just trust whatever. And it's like, I'd rather trust me. I've gotten myself this far. I think I'm all right. I think I'm doing well. Oh, the big swim. Here we go. I think, yeah, there's some land here. It won't be quite as long to swim across as usual, but whole family swim. I think I'll sleep when I get over here too. It's about sleepy time for Goose. Gosh, my right eye has been bothering me all day. Like it hurts to look in certain directions, and I don't know if it's because I've been wearing makeup and my eye is irritated, or if it's like a migraine thing. I keep getting like weird ocular migraines lately, and I don't want to think about that too hard because I don't want to think about that too hard. It's in my good eye too, which is not good. Here, while I sleep, I'll stare at my eye in my makeup mirror. Oh, I actually almost totally forgot to talk about this too. I saw the Markiplier movie on, God, was that Thursday or Friday? I think that was Friday. There's nothing wrong with my eye. It looks completely normal. Crazy. Just irritated, I guess. All right. Yeah, I saw the Markiplier movie. I won't spoil anything, but it actually, I think, kind of ties into the conversation of like, you know, the broader order of things. It was actually a really good first movie. Oh, that's really good, hybrid. I'm glad that you are feeling a lot better. I imposter syndrome is a bitch. It comes for us all, and it makes all of us feel bad. So I'm glad that you are overcoming that part because that is never a good way to feel in your chosen field. But yeah, I saw the Markiplier movie, Iron Lung. It was his first, it was his first big, like, real movie. I went into it with very few expectations. I'm not a big Markiplier fan. I like him. I think he's funny. I don't watch his content. I've never been a big Markiplier person. I used to watch him semi-frequently in college and I kind of just fell out of it. It's like he's funny, but his bit gets old to me. Like his yelling and screaming bit. Like he's funny. I just don't have a high tolerance for men yelling in general. I watch a lot of calmer creators these days. And I understand the appeal. He's a very sweet man. He's very kind. He's very good at what he does. He, as far as I know, has no scandals or major, like, exposés out on him. Like, he's just a good guy. And his brother's a furry hybrid. How did I not know this? Who is his brother? Wh- Markiplier has it in the family? All right, this actually might warm me up to Markiplier. Oh my God, I had no idea that he's related to one of the greats out there. That's that's funny. Um, no, hybrid, I didn't know. I'm not a Markiplier fan. I don't know anything about this man's life. I didn't know he was married until his wife was in the credits of the movie. Like, I know nothing about this man or his life. Okay, I'm gonna look this. Where is my phone? Where did I put my phone? Do not tell me I put my phone in a different. It's on top of my desk. It was on the other side of my desk. Thomas. Okay. All right. If you're pulling my leg, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh my God. Yeah, I've never read Two Kinds. I had no idea. That is so funny. Oh, that's sweet. Wow. Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea that his brother was a well-known artist in the community. That's awesome. I'll have to look into that comic. Um, but yeah, back to go back to Iron Lung, like it was his first movie. Like he obviously he's done some stuff for YouTube, but this was his first movie. And for a first movie from a YouTuber based on a video game, I was expecting not much. I basically went into it with zero expectations. I said, if this is the worst thing I've ever seen, I will not be shocked. And again, it's not that I think he's a bad creator or a bad artist or a bad person. Again, this is a first movie made by a YouTuber about a video game. These are variables that shouldn't play well together. They don't even play well independently from each other. And I honestly, the movie was like a solid seven for me for what it was. Like thinking of the budget, thinking of it being like a horror movie, just like, and again, with the factors at play, it was a solid seven. And I'm pretty discerning about movies. Um, I don't like most movies that I see. I'm not huge on them. I'm much more like a TV show person. Um, but it was long. It was long. The one issue with Iron Lung is that it was 2 hours long. I think it needed to be hour 30, hour 45. I think he could have taken out 15 to 30 minutes of it, just taken out some of these clips that were like, because the issue is like, he was the director and the lead actor and the editor. And he, for a man doing it by himself for the most part, like all these big facets of it, it was such an impressive and genuinely enjoyable movie to watch. Like, I'm not just saying it was good because of the variables at play here. I'm saying it was a good movie and these variables were at play. Like, I'm not saying, oh, in spite of this, it was good. No, it was good, comma, it did not fully escape being a first movie made by a YouTuber about a video game who wrote, edited, directed, produced, and starred in it himself. Oh, the fleas. It's always the fleas. Um, but like even if those variables weren't at play, I would say, wow, that was a good movie. Not a great movie. It was a good movie. It was super enjoyable. Like again, the first half of it dragged for me, and the second half really like hit its stride. And I think it was just a situation where like when you're editing, like when you've put all this work into making a movie and it's your first movie, I completely understand not wanting to cut any parts of it out. I understand saying no, like I want to keep all these different scenes. I want to keep in all the stuff that I put effort into. And that was apparent that he didn't want to cut anything from the movie, which again, it's his first movie. That variable provides an explanation and therefore made my enjoyment of the movie greater. Like, did I just pick up? No. Okay. Can you not? Can you get out of here? Ow. Um, like I think he needed to have somebody else edit it or somebody else direct it or a little column A, little column B. Like I think having himself do everything led to there being some filler. Like I think he didn't want to cut out these scenes that yes, he worked very hard on. He acted very well. His acting was good. I saw people saying his acting was bad, and I was like, no, like his character was very convincing. There were a couple moments where like he as a person kind of poked through, but again, it was his first major acting role and it was a full-length movie like with a bottleneck premise where it's pretty much just him on screen the whole time. And that's not a spoiler. I think anybody who knows anything about Iron Lung, and I do think you should play or like watch a playthrough of the game before seeing the movie. it is kind of required that you have some institutional knowledge of the game. I don't think anybody who went into the movie not having seen the gameplay understood it. Like you needed to experience the game first. And it did such a good like he did such a good job. From the second he walks on screen, it's like, oh, that's Markiplier, but the expressions he made, the tones of his voice, like he felt like a different person. He really like for the first 15 minutes, it's like, oh my God, it's Markiplier. Oh my God, it's Markiplier. But then he actually like really embodies this character that he's playing. And you feel for him. You feel his internal conflicts and his cognition, and he genuinely is like a good protagonist to be having. I mean, like he just did a really, really good job building this character, building out the lore, building out the whole thing. It really is like it's so clearly a passion project, and the the passion did translate to quality, at least to me. Um, it was really, really good. It was a very fun viewing experience. I don't know that I would watch it again. Like I feel like it was kind of a one-time movie. Um, but for being a movie I watched once, I had a really fun time watching it. And again, it was like a solid 7 for me. Um, like I found it to be, again, the only issue I really had with it was the pacing. I saw people complaining about other aspects of the movie, and I won't spoil those aspects because I think that they are relevant to the plot. But I saw people complaining about aspects where I was like, no, but that was the point. And like sometimes when I see people saying like, no, actually, that's the point that you feel that way. Like I think it's a cope. In this case, like I'm genre savvy about the types of horror that he incorporated. Horror. Okay, sorry. I keep feeling like I'm saying a very bad word. And like I'm very genre savvy about the types of horror that he incorporated into the movie because there are different subgenres and subtypes of horror. And the ones that he used, the themes that they carried through, and the experiences that I had as a viewer felt congruent with what they were going for and the premise of the game and the movie. And I saw people complaining about those experiences and saying, oh, this was a failure on his part that I experienced this during the movie. And I think that was the point. I think that those experiences were the intended outcome, and I hope that he's not reading those reviews and reading those comments and feeling like he failed. Because when I walked out of the theater with my friends, like we all said, wow, this was our experience of the movie. It felt like that's what we were supposed to experience. Like, I feel like we experienced that movie well. I feel like it curated the environment that it needed to, that it created the experience that we wanted and needed, and that with the subgenres that it went into, that it elicited the correct reactions out of us, you know? Um, this part isn't a spoiler because, again, if you watch a single minute or play a single minute of Iron Lung, you will get this. I am extremely, extremely claustrophobic. And for me, it doesn't matter the size of the container that I'm in, it's whether or not I can get out of it. And I felt that the movie and the game both do a really good job of making me feel that while I'm viewing it. I've never played the game myself. I watch gameplay of it. I'm really bad with horror games. Like I actually really enjoy watching them be played. I don't enjoy playing them. I get really freaked out. Um, and that's kind of how I engage with that genre. Like I love horror movies, books. I'm reading Pet Cemetery right now. Like, but playing it's just too scary for me. Like it's too anxiety inducing. But the game very much preys on a dislike of confined spaces like that. And the movie does a really good job translating that theme and that element onto the screen. Oh no, I can't do cave explorer stuff. Oh, hybrid. Yeah, no, that's not something I can deal with. Like, power to people who enjoy that and can find happiness in, doing all that stuff. I like it just it makes me anxious. It makes me very anxious and worried as I view it. And again, I think some people get a lot of enjoyment out of that, and that is wonderful. Oh, the fleas are at 53. Everyone's just being a baby. But yeah, I can't watch people do that. But yeah, that's my long and vague rant about Iron Lung. It was good. It was good. It was good and it was good. I don't think it's super rewatchable. I think it gets everything that it needs to get done in one watch, which some movies I appreciate that you watch them multiple times and you feel different things each time watching them. Like I recently rewatched one of my favorite movies of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And the first time I watched it, I was in a relationship with a mediocre man, and I was very unhealed, and I was very like not in a great place. And the first time I watched it, it was just very like it felt very personal to me, but I didn't understand why. I was just like, wow, what a deep and cool movie. Yay. And then I watched it a second time more recently with someone for the first time who had never seen it. Well, those are bull elk. No, 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 no. Um, who had never seen it and rewatching it like after I've done a lot of trauma therapy and I did EMDR and I did all these things like to work on myself and my feelings. It hit very different the second time, and it was meaningful in a different way. I just don't feel like Iron Lung is going to have that rewatchability because it didn't really like it's a horror movie. It's not a cerebral experience, You watch it and you feel a nasty, tingly feeling in your chest the whole time, and then you go home. Hybrid, I'm going to read this message out loud. I need to get better at that. Sometimes I watch some videos about it. The one that quite stuck with me is this guy just crawling into this tiny cave and ending up in some sort of nest of spiders and being completely covered in spiders and having to just deal with it and push forward. See, yeah, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to experience that through a screen or in real life. I don't even like the idea of like this is gonna sound so weird, but like I don't like the idea of like diving, like swimming with like a scuba mask or anything. It just freaks me out. I don't like things on my face. I don't like being enclosed, and being in water feels like being enclosed. I like swimming in a pool that's, 5 feet deep, but yeah, being in a cave, like I cannot imagine for myself. Like I would get so freaked out. And Iron Lung did a really good job of having scenes that really, like, really got to me. And obviously, like, I wasn't experiencing it, but I was like writhing around in my little chair at the theater. I was like, ugh, like, I cannot imagine being in this situation. I don't know that I have like full-blown thalassophobia. Obviously, like, I don't want to be in a Titan submersible situation ever. Like, I have no desire to ever get in a submarine and go underwater because it's much like being on an airplane for me. I hate flying because I'm not in control. I understand it's safer than driving. I understand it's faster and cheaper and whatever. Flying terrifies me. It really does. I used to really like it as a kid, and then I just like the idea of being in an enclosed thing that I can't get out of if something goes wrong, really messes with me. And so it's a similar thing with like diving or being in a submarine or anything where it's just like if something goes wrong and I start to panic, there's nothing I can do. No, exactly, hybrid. That is true. Those are both very, very true things. Um, and the movie incorporates other elements too, like other kind of like horror elements that I won't spoil because I really would like you to watch it. I thought it was for a first movie made by a YouTuber about a video game, it was good. And it was a good movie regardless of those factors. But for those factors, it was amazing. Like for a first movie it was amazing. It was a wonderful first step into making a movie. I think he put so much love into it, and it shows. Um, but there's other elements that he kind of adds on to like make the movie more consequential, I guess would be the word I use. And the other elements that he adds on are like the types of horror that actually scare me because most do not, like gore and I mean, like jump scares scare me, but they're jump scares, like they're supposed to scare you, but like gore and violence and serial killers or whatever, like all these themes and like in these movies, it doesn't freak me out, but the kind of horror that he goes for is the kind that makes me like it makes like the hair stick up on the back of my neck. Where when I'm watching it be depicted, I'm like, oh, this is the thing that actually freaks me out. So, at least for my personal taste in getting the shit scared out of me, he did a great job. He did a really wonderful job. Yeah, I mean, like my favorite TV show is The Boys. Like graphicness doesn't freak me out. God, I sound like such an edgelord when I say that. Yeah, actually, my favorite show is The Boys. Like, you could say I have a pretty high tolerance for wacky shit happening. But no, like, it's my favorite show in part because it pushes all these boundaries and, you know, creates this very horrific reality in the universe of the show. But nothing about it is like terrifying to me. None of it makes me think, oh God, what if that happened in real life? That would actually be awful. I don't think I could tolerate that. I mean, obviously, parts of The Boys I could not tolerate in real life, but it doesn't cause me like existential fear. Um, Markiplier got me with this one. He threw some themes in there that were pretty fear-inducing for me. And for that, I'm grateful because I think he picked really cool stuff to delve into and explore in his version of this world. And yeah, I can just keep repeating the same five things about it because it still is just sticking with me. And my friends that I saw it with, like we text each other every day and we're like, is that still sticking with you? Yeah, okay, cool, me too. I've like had conversations about it with other people about the themes, about the implications, about theories that we have. And I rarely have a movie that makes me think so much, but it really has inspired me to think a lot about it afterwards. And I don't really have that a lot with movies and viewing experiences. I finish it and I'm like, that was fun. It's over now. Um, and I haven't had that with this movie. I've gone back to it every day for a little bit and been like, what did I think of this scene? What did I think of these themes and this plot point and this element and this line of dialogue? And it really is like in my mind and it's really stuck with me. Um, and it kind of opened up the universe of Iron Lung, in my opinion. Like it opened it up in a way where I could see there being more media made around the universe of Iron Lung. I think he turned it from being a one-shot kind of video game into being a potential franchise. And I don't know if that's the idea. That's not what I meant to do. I don't know if that's the idea. I don't know if they want to make more Iron Lung related content or if this was just supposed to be like, here's the final hurrah of this before we move on to other things. But again, I think he just did such a good job of like making it feel like a bigger thing than it was before. And again, I'm trying to be vague because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Everybody go watch it. Please support this person and what they made with their passion and their soul and their heart. Um, and no, exactly hybrid. Like with the boys, it gets almost like a parody. But I will say with the boys, like sorry, I'm drinking water, my throat hurts. With the boys, like for the first couple seasons, and every time with the boys, I'm really weird. It's my favorite show, so every time a new season comes out, I watch the entire show up to that point and then watch the new season. Um, and I haven't done that with Gen V. I've just done that with the boys. But in the first couple, like when I first watched the first couple seasons, I felt genuine fear every time Homelander was on screen. I felt like my heart pick up and I felt, like some like my hands would shake a little bit or the hair would stand up on my neck. And it's because for those first couple seasons, you have no idea what his motivations are, what his limit is, what he is capable of. You just know that when he's in the room, anybody on screen could die in a single second and they'd have no power over that happening. And they did such a good job making him terrifying. And I like what they've done with that over time. I like how they've um, kind of fleshed him out and developed him and made him simultaneously more and less scary and different. Like they've played around with how he's terrifying and why. And I have just found it to be really incredible, like how they've put him as a character together. And I see people saying like, "Oh, the boys fell off. It's not good. Gen V is so bad." I just don't get that. I'm not there. I have been having a positive viewing experience the whole time, and so be it. I think, and part of it I think is just like, "Oh, it's the woke stuff. It's the woke stuff." People have gotten really mad that there's like gay people in the boys, God forbid. Um, and it's funny, my dad, who I think I've talked a little bit about his political leanings on stream before, my dad's extremely right wing, extremely. And he was a big fan of the boys. And then we got on to the season where they're making fun of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and other people who prop up our current president very highly. And immediately my dad's like, oh, they did all this woke bullshit. They did all this woke bullshit. And it's like, the whole show's been woke bullshit, dude. You just did not realize until they made it this obvious for your pea-sized brain. Yeah, hybrid. He is literally godlike and he has no limit, it seems. For the first couple seasons, it's like there's no length this guy won't go to get what he wants and to bully people into submission. And I just think that that's like a really scary and interesting premise for your main antagonist because there's always a kryptonite. There's always something in these superhero medias where you can get them, or they have a family that they care about, or actually their backstory makes total sense and you can talk them out of it or put them in jail. You can't put Homelander in jail. Like, he has no family. Like, he has nothing that he seems to care about, and that makes him very scary. The thing he cares about is getting what he wants. And I think any woman or woman adjacent person, such as myself, has been in a situation with men who have no regard for the feelings of anyone else in the room and, will do what they need to do. Obviously, these men in real life don't have laser eyes, but it does elicit like that same fear that, like, oh my God, I don't know what this person's capable of. I don't know what they could do, and I don't know to what length they're going to go. So at least for the first couple seasons, I mean, The Boys feels like a horror show because every time Homelander comes on, there's just this like anticipation. And that's it's powerful the way that they're able to craft that. You know what? I need to check my messages because I'm driving everybody to the gym today. Let me make sure that nobody's that I've missed no text from anybody. Uh, no, we're good. I do have like another 10, 15 minutes to stream and then I gotta go to the gym. Ow. Okay. All right. What am I doing? Food. But yeah, again, I really enjoyed Iron Lung. I thought it was a great watch. I had fun. My friends had fun. That's it. Putting a bow on that. Go watch it if you can. And how wonderful that he was able to get it in so many theaters and have such a successful opening weekend. Like, that makes me really, really happy for him because he genuinely seems like a person who deserves that kind of success just due to the work that he's put in to this project over the last couple years. We can only be so lucky to have passion and put our whole back into it and to have it actually pay off. No, that is true, hybrid. That's a solid like reflection on that is yeah, the kryptonite exists in universes where there isn't much story outside of like bringing happiness to things, but um the boys humanizes all these superheroes and also the protagonists are very flawed individuals with their own baggage and trauma and difficulty. Do I want to deal with a bear right now? Chickadee, don't do it, man. Don't do it, man. Just let it be. Will the cubs attack me? Is the question. Kind of? Is there any food left on this thing? Oh, nope. Okay. We're just not going to do that. We're just not going to deal today. I'm going to go to my other, or maybe we'll see if we can hunt if there's any like smells going on. We'll just leave those guys to their devices. I don't want to mess up their little family dinner. I'll run vaguely in the direction of my food, but keep my eye out for smells. But yeah, I also like I love watching The Boys because I can be mad at everybody equally sometimes. Like everybody in that show makes decisions where I'm like, dude, come on. Come on. Dude, come on. And I genuinely appreciate that in media. I genuinely appreciate having flawed protagonists and flawed antagonists. I think that when everybody's just like, and I understand like superhero media is made primarily for children who are developing a basic sense of right and wrong. And so having complex characters isn't ideal in that scenario. But in superhero media made for adults, they don't always move fully away from it as much as I'd like. I thought the newest Superman movie was really good. I actually loved that. I thought the new actor was great. Like, Man of Steel was so dark. It was so dark and it was so depressing to watch. And I didn't like the Superman that they had. He just felt like this, like, strange, unfeeling alien person who had no actual tie to humanity. And I think they gave Henry Cavill, like, kind of bad directions, honestly. Like, he's a great actor. I just think that they used him very improperly. Um, and I like the new Superman where he's like, he's a sweetie. Um, he does very lovely things throughout the movie, but he also at times like he does argue, he does storm out of things, he does like freak out, and I think that that's important to show that yeah, like this guy is the embodiment of goodness in this universe, but he has bad days and he has bad moments, and that doesn't make him any less of a hero. It just means that he's just like us for real. Like would I like in the theoretical universe where I have children, would I bring a kid to see Man of Steel? No. Would I bring them to see the new Superman movie? Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought it was very like it was very thematically well made. And the opposite to that of like, oh, good people can have flaws is I feel like in The Boys, it's bad people can do good things because a lot of the main cast are people who have done unspeakably bad things to others, and they are redeeming themselves through this work that they do as the boys, but they struggle to get away from their pasts because, yeah, I think the premise is that they are not great people and they're doing the right thing now. But that doesn't erase that they did bad things. Just like a good person, a good superhero, like the new Superman, having bad moments doesn't make him a bad person or bad at his work or his life. Um, I kind of like the like redemption aspects in The Boys. It is one of those shows that makes me think about, well, what does redeem somebody? What can be redeemed? What can't be redeemed? I and there are characters in the show who do bad things, and I believe that in their arcs they are fully redeemed. Like when I see their arc end, I'm like, yeah, no, they're good. But no, exactly, hybrid. The Zack Snyder Superman was gray. The whole thing was gray. The entire experience, it was gray. These bears. Oh hi. All right, chickadee, eat your food. Oh, chickadee really needs to eat. Up, up, up. Don't attack my boy. All right, let's get out of here. Man, the bears are just coming after me. Yeah, the Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder Superman, it was very gray. It was very adult, but like in the way that almost like a kid imagines how adult things are. where it's just serious and sad and everyone's, somber and intense. And it's just, I don't like that. No, exactly. That's exactly it, Hybrid, is they were like, we're making mature Superman for grown-ups now. We did. We said the same thing. Um, and I felt like, again, I feel like the new Superman, I keep forgetting what the name of it is. Just the new Superman starring David. I think his name's David. I just know Rachel Brosnahan's in it because I have a big crush on her. So, it is what it is. But like the new one, it still felt a little silly. There were moments of silliness, but he felt so much more whole. He felt like a whole person. He felt like somebody I could root for. In Man of Steel, it's like, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy who just kind of glowers at people and has no joy in his heart. Like in the first Zack Snyder Superman, when he like kills Zod and he like screams, it's like, okay, okay, sure, man. Oh, the fleas, not the fleas. I haven't even been in my den. Don't give me the flea animation. I never go home. But yeah, like even with that, there were no stakes because I didn't care. I don't know. It's an eternal like beef that I have with superhero media is so often I feel like it relies on the main characters being good and not likable. And I think that is something that Marvel has won at. And the issue is I don't like how they make their characters likable. Like it's not, they're never, you know, the way that they make them act and tell their little jokes. He's right behind me, isn't he? It's like it's very millennial to me. And I'm sorry to any millennials watching. I am squarely an old Gen Zer, but it's just not like it. I don't think I've watched something in the MCU in order. Like the last time I cared was Age of Ultron. That was good. Age of Ultron was good. I hear about what happened in whatever the Avengers Endgame, whatever, and I just hear about it, and I'm like, how did we get there? Where did all that come from? And again, I think that in their case, like they worried so much about making their characters likable that like they still don't really feel like people completely. And I think they've done good to like flesh out character arcs and motivations. I do think they've done well in the MCU, but I don't know. To me, it felt like they were trying too hard to make everybody likable, and so I just ended up liking no one, and that's not really a way to enjoy superhero media. The idea is that you should have a few that you attach to. Like I liked Iron Man, but it's because it's Robert Downey Jr. playing himself, and I like Robert Downey Jr. I think he's funny. So it, it's strange how they kind of just took it and ran with it and tried to make everybody like Robert Downey Jr. Have everyone act like him and tell the same styles of jokes. Um, oh, hi. Well, I was looking for elk, and here they are. Yippee. No, I feel you, hybrid. I feel like it just became very clearly like this is the one thing they're making money off of, and so they're just going to keep making movies and doing the thing. And it did. It got a little old. It did, and I'm not afraid to say that. It absolutely just got a little old to me, and I don't want to catch up on 30 different movies and TV shows and whatever. I just don't want to do it. I don't care about anything that deeply. Like The Boys has one spin-off show. That is, and they're gonna make one prequel, I think, after everything's done. And you know what? That is acceptable to me. I'm not watching a series of whatever it is, 20 or 30 movies with additional TV shows that bolster it and what like I don't have the time for that. I would maybe do that for Star Trek because I love Star Trek. Like Star Trek is in segments, it's like there's different generations of it that I can look at. With this, it's just like I gotta do it all. It's just ugh. And then when you try to watch like a standalone movie, it references the rest of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And maybe I'm just being a hater, okay? I think it's possible I'm just being a hater. But like I can't just go watch like a standalone about one of these heroes because now everybody else is making cameos and there's all these different concepts and stuff from the other movies or TV shows where you had to watch the limited series and it's just like I don't want to put this much effort into enjoying media. I'm sorry. Like Star Trek is different in my opinion. I feel like each episode can kind of stand on its own that I've seen. I've watched a lot of Star Trek, the original and the Next Generation, and I feel like there are again a lot of episodes that stand alone. A lot of movies where they stand alone if you have a working understanding of the universe, which you can get through watching parts of it. And I don't know. I just don't get that with Marvel. I don't feel that way. I feel like I have to do so much more homework to understand what I'm looking at. Like what you're saying, hybrid. Like it is homework to me. Oh, he fell. Or she, I'm sorry. But yeah, like I don't like my friends are like, "Oh, but you have to get to Endgame. Endgame is so good." And I'm like, "I need to watch like 10 movies to be able to watch Endgame and get it." I don't feel like it. Because again, I also am not a big movies person. I don't want to watch 10 movies. I'd rather watch 10 seasons of a TV show. Um, as is evidenced by me watching House. Like I'd sooner do that and enjoy it that way, but I get that you make more money making movies, so they made it all movies, but then they also made shows because they didn't want to make movies anymore. And it's just like it's just too much. It's so much. I guess The Boys also had their little animated spin-offs, but those were like standalone shorts. Those were kind of fun. I can't lie. Those are a little enjoyable. I know people like were very mixed in their reviews on them, but I had fun. Chickadee, can you deal with this, please? Thank you. All right. I think I will. Do I need to go home? Not really. I think I will eat this and I will sleep and then I will save and head out to go to the gym, which I'm very excited for because I need to move. My back is so locked up today and it's time for me to work it off. Ow. It's always a great time when you sit up in your chair and just like everything cracks. Oh my gosh, thank you, Hybrid. Yeah, I had fun doing a little Chicago restaurant week endeavor. Oh, the newborn ungulates are starting. Okay, cool. Oh, I know. Okay. All right, well, thank you for hanging out during this midday stream. It is time for me to get ready and head out. Like I said, maybe no streams until like Sunday. But if I can, I will between now and then. So goodbye, y'all. Have a lovely rest of your day.